Hey guys, hope all is well. So today we're going to continue talking about the Spanish Phrygian. Okay. Now we were in the key of A flat, and we did the scale. Now I'm going pretty fast because I really want to get to these nice piano movements. But we were on the 3, which is that C. Okay. And we found out how to use the scale. We found out how to make up the scale, rather. Okay. Now, most of us know our Phrygian scale. It's just the Spanish scale. Some of us don't, right? So we found out that all we have to do is just add the major third. Okay. So if you're in the key of A flat and you're doing the Phrygian off of that C major, right? Right. It's as if you're doing the A flat major scale starting on C, but this time we're also going to add that major third. Okay. Now, so check out the, my last video so you can get a little bit more info. So today we're going to do some chords. Now, you guys know I love to take chords from scales. OK, this is what I do. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to get to the 6. So we'll start on that 3 to get to the 6. Now, today you guys will probably see me do more of this. OK, now, whether you're on that flat 6 or sharp 5, whichever one, I'm still looking at that as pretty much like a 3 to the 6 because we're using the same chord. Okay. So you can get to the 6 using the 3 or the flat 6. Okay. All right. So let's go to the 5. All right. Now we're going to the 6. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Now, that actually sounds like a song called He's Able. It's like an old classic gospel song, but we're going to use it in this example. So here we go. Let's go back to the 5 and let's do our progression. So here we go. Okay, that's the first one. We're going to go over another one. Here we go. So we're going to cover what exactly I did, right? And how did I come up with these chords? So, of course, we know that we're using the scale, the Spanish Phrygian scale, okay? Now, I did this with the melodic minor as well. I just took the scale and then I said what chords come from that scale, right? Now, the ultimate chord we know is that C dominant, right? We're using that 3 to get to the 6 or flat 6 to get to the 6. Okay. Now, with this scale, there are so many chords that you can come up with, guys. Okay. So you don't have to take my chords verbatim. You can get some ideas or you can, just kind of pick and choose. So here we go. That first one was this. And it's like, wait, you did all that over the, over that E or the C, because you can do it over any bass note. Whichever bass note you choose. So here we go. This was the first chord. Now, some may ask like, wait, why did you do that? Of course, if I'm thinking about the C dominant, of course, you see the C major chord in there, and then you have the B flat. But to give it some tension, this is like a trick I've seen some of the OGs or pretty much older musicians do, especially like in gospel. I remember this chord from a while ago. Okay, so you pretty much take the augmented 5th and just put it on the bottom. Okay, so instead of just playing just a augmented chord, you still put that 5 in there, but you also put the augmented 5th in there too, but put that on the bottom. Okay, so we're playing a C major chord in first inversion, right, with that A flat. All right, so we have. Now, the next chord is really, right, you can look at this as I'm looking at this as like a G minor, G minor 7, flat 5, pretty much. Okay. But this is the chord that I took from it, from the scale. Okay. So I'll go kind of fast, because I think you guys kind of get the point. So now, of course, that G, I just bring it down to the bottom, like drop 2 style, right? Okay, so now I don't go straight to that B flat. I love doing this. There's just something about letting that melody note kind of linger and then going. Okay, just something about that. So here we go. Now, there's also, look at this, guys. There's a C sharp major 7 or D flat major 7 in this scale. Okay, so of course, what I do, I say, you know what? Let me actually, take that, and I did it in drop 2. All right, so instead of playing it, now you can play it like this, by the way. Okay, you remember, you can create whatever type of melody you want. That's why I did it 2 ways. So if you're up here, all right, see, I started my movement close to the melody. That's why I changed it when I was here. I did this. All right, so here we go. Where were we? Okay, here we go. And this it, because of course, guys, we still need to highlight that dominant chord. Okay, so that's our main chord, that dominant, C dominant. All right, so you could have done this. Okay, and this part right here is the, I think, don't give up on God. Okay, or because he won't give up on you, right? So once we hit this, now this movement, you can still play this. All these notes are in that scale. So this is how I'm playing my C dominant. Of course, I'm leaving that E out to put at the bottom. All right, so hopefully this is providing a lot of value. Okay, and then that's to the 6. So instead of doing this, right, you can, this is more of like a gospel type of feel, and then let me see, okay, then all right, so that next one, we go back to the 5. And you guys are always not going to be on over the 5, but it's okay. So here we go. Now, whether you're playing that flat 9, right, which is just a diminished chord over the C, or okay. So think the 3. All right. Here I started on this D flat 7. All right. I did. And now, guys, you have a choice. You could do this, or watch this. Okay. All right. That's why I say you don't have to take my chords. This is just something to get you started with taking chords from scales. So, all right, we can just highlight this E diminished 7, right? Because that's honestly what we're using, right? Okay. So, like I said, you can look at it like a 3, right? And this would just be a C7 flat 9, or you can say, well, right, so look, C dominant, C7 flat 9, right? So either way, all right, I look at the E and the C, or the 3 and the flat 6 the same. Okay, so here we go. Or, all right, now watch this. When I got to this E flat, okay, I'm looking at this like a A flat 6, pretty much. That's your A flat major. Then you add the 6 on there, okay? But of course, the E flat, bring that to the bottom, pretty much drop 2. So it can sound like this. Okay, it almost sounds like pretty much the A flat 6 anyway, or the diminished 6 that Barry Harris talk about a lot. And I have videos for that too, doing that diminished 6 movement. Anyway, but we have. I love this right here. So at first I played the C major with that augmented 5th, right? Remember that raised 5th? Now It's like, wait, what is this? Guys, honestly, this was really just a creative moment, really. So I don't necessarily want to go that far in theory, talking about, well, you know, I did this and I did that. No, it really was one of those things where I said, well, I need to highlight the C7 or the C7 flat 9, right? So I was either going to land on a C dominant 7 or a C7 flat 9. So I could have done this. Let me see. Okay. So you could do this. Or you would have been over that E. Okay. So I hope you guys are following along. I'm trying not to go too slow, you know, because sometimes you guys can kind of catch the idea and you want the next thing, right? Okay. So there we go. If you're just looking at it in my right hand, just a G diminished 7. But with that bass note being that E diminished 7, okay? But I said we can make things interesting, and instead of playing the diminished chord, I'll play a C major chord, but grace off the B flat. Oh man, I love the sound of that. You hear that? I love that. So watch this. Remember that? Like I said, I like to kind of let that melody note linger for a little bit. Here we go. And you can hit the bass note if you don't have a bass player. And I wanted to do this to show that you don't have to have a bass player to do all these movements. Now, if you do, that makes things more interesting, right? So you can literally do this. Don't give up on... I would probably still play the chord and then do it. Okay. So I'll play the chord first, whichever one you're going to do. Whether you're going to play the C7 or... Okay. Because we already know the scale that we're using. Okay. So I'll stop there. That's really it, guys. I just want to show you guys this idea that you can do pretty much to add in your playing, to change your sound or to add more to your sound, to get you to the 6. Okay. So even if, let me see, you guys have heard that 7 before to get you to the 3. Okay. Now when you're on this, let me see, this flat 9, you know you can do something different, right? So I can do, okay? So you don't have to take the whole thing. You can just take, because who would play a D flat major 7 over the C, right? So but it's like, well, it's a little bit more to it than just playing a random chord over a random bass note. You're saying, no, there's a system. I have a scale that I'm using. I'm taking chords from that scale, okay? So hopefully this provided a lot of value. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Definitely like the video. It really helps the channel, okay? Take care. Talk to you guys soon.